supposedly made a huge offer for Russell Wilson, but that deal was nixed by Pete Carroll. So they turned the page and signed Andy Dalton, last year's Cowboys quarterback. Dalton signed a one-year deal and came to Chicago because he was told he would be the starter. Nothing gives confirmation like a tweet. I guess Andy Dalton posted, or the Bears rather, posted this tweet.
What's that?
QB1.
Oh.
With an image of Andy Dalton next to it. So let's dive right in. So you buy in that the Bears are fully behind Andy Dalton?
Hell no, I ain't buying this. One, I know I'm old, but I did play in the NFL. And of all the quarterbacks I ever played against, no one ever walked around saying QB1. Like, that's some old new school stuff, some old All-American. Watch Friday Night Lights and All-American. That's some corny, I meet you at the malt shop and say, I'm QB1 with the tank top on, brother. Like, ain't nobody know QB1. And they only put this out this early because they trying to convince themselves, yeah, that's the QB1. Kind of like putting up a fat head in your room. Like, that's who I'm going to be. The Bears are putting up a fat head for the world, so like, yeah, that's our QB1. Trying to convince themselves. They don't even believe this. The picture's Photoshopped. I mean, come on, man. It's a Photoshop picture. It ain't even real. So guess what? The picture ain't real, and him being the starter ain't real. I'm just telling you right now, his position, QB1. Look at this picture. That's not even a good picture. Look, I'm no Jordan Palmer, but I can look at a quarterback and tell when he needs to transfer his energy into the front foot. I need to see that. Look at that elbow. That's a pick six in the making right there. Look at the elbows and the hip position. It's just a bad picture. And I don't remember Dallas putting out a picture last year of him being the QB2. Because y'all just telling me right now, what is this, March? That y'all found your QB1 who was a backup last year? You signing backups to be your starter when he's already been a starter before and showed you what his ceiling is? This is no shot at Andy Dalton. This is a shot at marketing, and y'all trying to go out there and fake it till y'all make it. He's not their QB1. He's the quarterback that they think should start, but watch the draft. Watch the rest of free agency. Something's going to happen. Trust.
Big dog, the Bears remind me of the dude who's in a relationship, but he's still like an Instagram model's Instagram picture.
Why are you looking at me like that? What do you mean? I don't double tap, single tap, so it don't get me caught.
The Bears remind me of the dude who in a relationship, and he's still, that Instagram, man. Because, Marcellus, you told me something, and it shook me to my core. It really did. You told me this maybe 6 months ago. You said a man is only as faithful as his option. The Bears are only as faithful to Andy Dalton as their options. He might be QB1 right now.
Right now.
But they still looking at Russell Wilson like, double tap. Double tap. Like, they're still looking around, Sal. And the fact of the matter is, I don't fault them because Andy Dalton shouldn't be your QB1. What has he shown you in the last several years to be your QB1?
Hello.
If he's a QB1 right now, he's a bottom 10 #1 quarterback. And by the start of the season, he'd probably be a bottom 5 #1 quarterback. By the time Trevor Lawrence takes shape and Justin Fields comes around and Trey Lance comes around and Zach Wilson comes around. So he shouldn't even be the QB1. I'm looking at it like this. Since 2015, Andy Dalton is 24-40-1 as a starter. Now, I'm not going to knock Andy Dalton because you said this before. He has 3 Pro Bowl seasons to his name. Went to the playoffs 5 straight years, but that was all done prior to the age of 28. Andy Dalton will be 34 this year. So in the last 6 years, he hasn't shown you any promise. I just don't like that the Bears are now putting their foot in their mouth willingly. Like voluntarily. Nobody forced your hand. Nobody went out there and asked you, is Andy Dalton your QB1? But y'all just decided, let me go out here and proclaim that this quarterback is our QB1, even though in the history of this franchise, we've never had a 4,000-yard passer in the history of the franchise. We're a team that can't get right in regards to quarterback talent, and here we are proclaiming a backup from last year to be our starter in March.
Man. You took me somewhere. Let's go back to the club, okay? I've been to the club. I went in the club. It was a different culture back then. I remember going to the club the first time, and you really had to go out there, put yourself out there in front of everybody on the dance floor and say, can I get your number? In front of DJ, do. He's like, can I get your number? She like, and get the pen, and your boy's like, because they see the pen. Once the pen come out, it's going down. Y'all ain't like that now. Y'all just be like, what's your name?
And walk away.
IG. Oh, yeah. What's your IG? Because I don't need nothing else. I'll holler. So here's the thing. This is what the Bears just did. They walked across the dance floor, and they boys are sitting there, the organization sitting there like, go holler at Russell. Go holler at Russell. Right there in the middle of the dance floor. Can we get you, Russell Wilson? He's like, and Pete Carroll's like, hey, that's my man. That's my quarterback right there, right? So then they come back to their boys, you know, and the boys like, damn, dog, like that? So then next time you see him, guess what he trying to do? No, check her out. Check my homie out. She cool, right? And you're like, Andy Dalton ain't it. You tried to holler at Russell Wilson. This is shame cover-up right here. And these teams are so dirty. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. They talk between the cracks in their teeth. I remember when Byron Leftwich, my dog, offensive coordinator of the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I was gone this year when this happened, but I was there when Byron Leftwich was a starter. He was the starter for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 4 straight years. Got injured here and there, but 4-year starter. Going into the 5th year, Acho, he started the preseason games with the starting unit. Going into week 1, they had they had the season tickets luncheon for all the donors and all the season ticket holders. And he was announced, supposedly, as the starting quarterback. And then off the bus ride and getting back to the facilities, all of a sudden, yeah, you got to go. David Garrard became the starter of that team. I only tell you that story is because this was a 4-year starter going into his 5th year, Byron Leftwich. And then they still made another decision when they wanted to make that decision. If I'm Andy Dalton sitting there in Chicago, the Windy City, be careful. That wind might blow your ass right back to QB2. You better not trust these dirty organizations. They talk out of both sides of their mouth.
The other thing, though, Stella, is like, even if you're a Bears fan, if you're Andy Dalton, you're sitting there might be a quarterback on the roster still better than Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, to me, isn't unequivocally better than Nick Foles. Like, let's be real. Like, what has Andy Dalton done? What has Andy Dalton shown you, especially in the last 4 years? In the last 4 years, Nick Foles has led his team to the playoffs. After they started 5-6, he takes over for Carson Wentz. They go 9-7. In the last 4 years, Nick Foles has been a Super Bowl MVP, taking over in a 3-game run. Meanwhile, Andy Dalton has been 24-40-1. I don't even know why you would want to claim or proclaim Andy Dalton as your QB1. Look at just last year alone, the bottom 7 passer ratings amongst quarterbacks. You see Darnold, you see Carson Wentz, you see Drew Lock, you see Daniel Jones, you see Cam Newton, you see Tua, and then you see Andy Dalton. And so look at all nobody here is really a bona fide QB1 except Carson Wentz, and that's only because of money. That's it.
Facts.
Sam Darnold, he might be getting traded, or he might be getting
Cam Newton, because he's a beast. You want to go commercial? I said Cam Newton. You heard me.
You said
I had Super Cam.
Cooten? I ain't never heard of that quarterback. I ain't never heard of that. You just ruin this whole block with your nonsense. Time to go to break.